Hi, I'm Ivan, and this is the Russian News Network.
And I am Dmitry, and today we'll start with Russian crisis in Ukraine. Ukraine has recently voted Crimea out of the Ukraine to rejoin Russia, which Russia has moved troops in to retake Crimea by force or by vote. Putin at first said, "We don't want Crimea," because the troops at first weren't ours. They had no affiliation with Russia, and no one even knew they were Russians. But we have close ties with the last president of Ukraine, who was just kicked out of the Ukraine. This allows us to have Crimea, which is one of the largest port cities in the world. Thanks to this, we can get increased trade with all the countries around the world, and Crimea was originally ours anyway. So we are really just taking back what was ours, which was rightfully ours, and should always be ours. We should not lose Crimea just because of this basic shindig, as Americans call it. We want Crimea just for the port. We don't for Sebastopol. We don't want it for many other reasons. Besides, it was part of the old Soviet Union, which we don't think will be reformed. Putin says all he wants is Crimea, and he didn't even say he wants Crimea. He says after this, there's no more advancements. And anyway, we're being threatened by all the Western powers, which we still don't take into account because we have the great leader of Putin who will definitely handle us very well. In other news, today they voted about more sanctions on Russia if we do not continue, which would kick us out of the G8, which is the global 8 top producing countries in the world, which would change it to the G7, which Russia would no longer take part in because they don't want that because of us our involvement in Crimea, and they're also talking about moving the 2022 World Cup out of Qatar to the US because Qatar is close to Russia. On to you.
Thank you, Dmitry. Following our advances on Crimea, the United States President Barack Obama has responded with several sanctions on 20 important Russian businessmen and officials that are closely tied to our President Putin. These sanctions will freeze all U.S. assets for these men and prevent them from doing business with any Americans and from obtaining any American money. The sanctions will also target the large Russian bank Rossiya. Obama stated that his reasoning for the sanctions is to block out Russia from the rest of the international economy. Obama stated that the actions by our president are illegal and deserve punishment, despite the fact that we obtained Crimea legally since they voted to side with our nation and we did nothing wrong in this case. Russian Deputy Prime Minister Dmitry Rogozin responded to the sanctions by saying that he thinks Barack Obama is some sort of jokester for making this sanctions list. Putin says that he's not concerned with the sanctions and does not believe they'll have much of an impact on our economy. He showed support for the Bank Rossiya by saying, "I do not have an account there, but I'll certainly open one there Monday." Few government officials appear to be worried about this, and it'll be interesting to see if these sanctions will impact our economy in days to come. In other news, recently our President Vladimir Putin gave awards to 40 Russians that were all key parts in organizing and participating in the Sochi Winter Olympic Games. The Olympic Games were a huge success, and Russia competed very well. These award winners included those who helped build the structures, coaches, and athletes. They were all invited to a ceremony at the Kremlin where they will be acknowledged for their well-deserved awards.
Allen with your weekly sports newscast. Recently, FIFA President Sepp Blatter is reportedly coming under intense pressure to change the venue of the 2018 World Cup, as U.S. politicians have said that Russia should be banned from hosting the event as punishment for taking over Crimea. Republican Senator from India Dan Coates said that more deserving World Cup 2018 bids should be reconsidered instead of Russia. Because if they allow the country to keep the tournament, it would remind them of what happened with Hitler in the early 20s and 30s. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Sepp Blatter. Who are you? You ain't even no guy. You're not real. Just go home. You ain't nothing. We'll be there and we'll see you there, and I'm done. Cat!
Hi, I'm Olga with the RNN Weekly Weather Update. Here in Moscow, we have a cold week ahead of us. Later tonight, the temperatures will remain at around 11 degrees Celsius. There is absolutely no chance of rain, and the wind will remain at a very calm level. Next week, there will be plenty of rainfall in Siberia. There will also be rainfall moving in from the west towards Moscow. That's all, folks. Back to you, Ivan and Dimitri.
Have you ever been unhappy or unsatisfied with your lawn service? Well, fear no more, Cody's crew is here. Are you tired of people tearing up and destroying your flowers? Well, with Cody, you do not have to worry about that anymore because he will take prime care of your flowers.
Okay, go.
He'll even pick up your trash for some quick cash. And customer satisfaction is almost always guaranteed. As you can see, Cody's crew is the most efficient lawn service in town.
When it comes to landscaping and odd jobs, Cody's crew can do everything. We'll mow your yard. We support Dale. Clean your gutters. Wash your dog. Blow your leaves. Wash your cat. Trim your hedges. Wash your goat. Prune your trees. Wash your hamster. Weed eat around your house. Wash your cow. Haul stuff off. And even wash your car. Just call 883-1403 to have the heart of Dale in all aspects of your landscaping and odd job experience.
Crisis has recently been reported. The United States and Russia agreed on the need for a diplomatic solution in the Ukraine crisis. Secretary of State John Kerry recently met with some Russian leaders in Paris to discuss diplomatic solutions and ways to prevent war between Russia and Ukraine. Kerry stressed to our Russian leaders that Ukraine would have to be at the table for these negotiations. Kerry said that the Russian troop building along the border is creating a climate of fear and intimidation in Ukraine and is not helpful. It will be interesting to see how our Russian leaders will respond to this and in what ways our leaders will negotiate in order to maintain peace along these borders.
Maybe I should kill myself.